Hello, and welcome to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always, I'm Andrew. And today I have got my April 2021 monthly wrap-up for you. But before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can get regular notifications for when I put out new content. I'm posting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that said, this was my second month on BookTube, and I am having an absolute blast. I have just been able to stick to, for a newbie, I set myself for 3 videos a week, which I've been told is kind of ambitious. So far, I've been able to stick with it. I'm actually scheduled almost halfway through May right now with just videos that I have pre-recorded. So right now, I'm brimming with ideas, and I'm putting out a lot of content, and I hope to be able to maintain that for quite a while. I've also been able to participate in a lot of just live streams. I've done some reading sprints. I've done some discussions. I recently participated in a discussion with EpicTalz, which I'll link his channel down below, with one of his friends who is a creative writing instructor up in Canada. And it was just an absolute blast. We recorded, I think, like 2.5 hours worth of content. And he told me I had to cut some of it because it was clear we were just having too much fun with it. And he just recently started releasing it. I believe he's going to do it in 3 parts. And he just did a fantastic job editing it. It's a lot of fun to watch. I'll go ahead and link the video right up there in the cards. That said, let's move on to the books. What did I start reading this month? Well, I got a little overly ambitious when I announced my TBR. I did not meet it. I had just put way too many big, thick, chunky books on my TBR, and it just wasn't going to get done. That said, I did start the month with Memories of Ice by Mr. Steve Erickson, Book 3 in Malazan Book of the Fallen. I am not going to be doing a dedicated review for this, specifically because A, it's massive, and B, there is so much. If you've read this, there is so much in this book. To do a dedicated review on it, I would have to dedicate like 35-40 minutes, and I don't think I could do it justice. I am just simply... This is a series that kind of unlocks itself as you go further along. What I do plan on doing is maybe a set of 3 videos kind of cataloging my journey through the Book of the Fallen so far. So you should plan to see maybe the first one of those drop hopefully in June. We'll see. I'm not making any promise. I did like this, not as much as I liked Dead House Gates, but this was still like a 3 out of 5. It's just so grand in scope that even 3 weeks later, stuff is still kind of clicking into place for me. So that was this book. It was a lot of fun, but man, whew, it was a lot. Now, what else did I do? Where should I put all these books? Because I'm just surrounded by books. It's a good problem to have. I also buddy read with my good friend Walker Wright 7, Empire of Silence. Not only did I buddy read this with him, I was also a part of the monthly read-along for TornadoCreator's Excessive Detail Discord, which I'll go ahead and link his channel down below. I really enjoy TornadoCreator. He is just... He's going to give you his honest opinion. And sometimes he is very impassioned about it. And that's something, he's fantastic. The analytics he can give you on a book. He'll give you words per page, and he'll give you distinctions between a novelette, or a novella. Things that I just never really thought about, and I really enjoy his content. So I'm going to go ahead and link his channel down below. They read this book in the month of April as well, so I was kind of a little bit a part of that. I had a blast. This book I was a little lukewarm on. I've got a review for it. I believe it will have come out, but no, does it come out this week or does it come out in May? We'll find out. The review is already recorded. I had a little bit of recency bias here. This is just so similar to a lot of the books that I've been reading. There was nothing wrong with the story. The prose was fantastic, and the story was good and solid. It just... felt very been here, done that. Now, I do have the next 2 in hardcover, and I will be continuing Sun Eater by Mr. Christopher Rocchio. I did have a good enough time, and it ended on a note that kind of has me excited to continue. I think I'm going to be kind of doing that every an entry in this series every 2 to 3 months, and I think leading up to the release of book 4. But I do recommend this for a lot of people. Go ahead and check out that review. And yeah, moving right along. What else did I read? Now, because I buddy read this with my good friend John, who goes by Walker7, who happens to be a self-pub author. If you look right there, you will see his book, Weavers. Now, this is very different than what I usually read. I'll go ahead and put a picture of it right here. It is a YA book, and he is a self-pub author. He goes on the YouTube channel Walker7. I'll link him down below. It was a very, very good story for me. For somebody who doesn't like YA, I really enjoyed the character relationships. They felt really real and authentic. It was a good story. I liked the magic system. It was kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but in like a school setting, but you don't spend any time in the classroom. So they're kind of out doing all of these things. I did give him some critiques. There was some grammatical errors, but overall, I do look forward to his next release. If you're looking for kind of like an Avatar: The Last Airbender meets, I don't want to say My Hero Academia, but kind of sort of. Basically, the premise is in 1945, when the A-bomb was dropped, this unleashed some sort of mutation or unlocked magical abilities in a large part of the population, and they became known as Weavers. And from there, I mean, you can either be, air, fire, earth, and water, or what is called an anomaly. And anomalies kind of, can either do like metal, or they can do like lightning, or anything other than that. But anomalies kind of fall out of the standard deviation for Weavers. And it was really cool. So it had some of the best character work and relationship work that I've read in a while. When you have a romance in there, it's not like your typical insta-love where like eyes lock and you just know it. I mean, they are enamored, but it feels very much like a crush that evolves into a friendship that can then evolve into something more, which it's not often you see an author take the time to do that. This was a solid 3 out of 3. I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads, but it's more of a 3.5. That should have been a 4 if it was just gone through another final edit. So if you're looking for something and you want to support a self-pub author, I'm going to go ahead and link to the Amazon link down below so that you can go ahead and check it out. He does have it available in Kindle and in physical copy. Then, of course, there was the channel read-along for the Wizardly Duo Discord, and that was David Gimel's Legend. I actually have my review for this coming out in a few weeks. I loved this. I did think it was missing a little meat off the bone. There's no fat here, and I thought it was missing a little meat off the bone. It was a 4 out of 5, but if maybe just a little higher page count, and this would have been a 5 out of 5 for me. I have gone ahead and picked up the next 4 books, which will be appearing in the book haul video. All right, moving right along. This is my last physical book that I've read, but I'm still not quite done with it, but I am about 700 pages out of 900 into the Mad Ship. This is the book that I am currently reading for the read-along over at Megan's Reading Revelations for the Live Ship Traders. This is a massive improvement over Ship of Magic for me. It does have a little bit of how I felt with the Blade itself a little, though, where not a lot's happening for such a thick book. This is 900 pages, but you're getting a lot of your relationships worked on. You're getting a lot of character growth. You can definitely tell that this is setting off to springboard into Ship of Destiny. And so far, this is actually a 5 out of 5 for me, despite not a whole lot happening. I mean, stuff happens, the plot moves along, things happen. But for a book that was called Mad Ship, the Mad Ship aspect doesn't really start taking place until about page 400 or 500. But again, I do really enjoy this book. Yeah, so far, 700 pages in, 5 out of 5. I will have a review for this sometime for you in May. Now, what did I listen to? I did listen to, on audio, the second book in the Gods and Powder trilogy, Wrath of Empire. I just actually finished that today, and it was a total 5 out of 5 for me. Oh my gosh, I loved this book. It was a great way to end out the month with two 5 out of 5 books. Well, I'm hoping that ship ends at a 5 out of 5, but, you know, fingers crossed. But, I mean, it was just action-packed. The character growth, the character dilemmas. Oh, so good. So, oh, it's just, mwah. It felt like an Empire Strikes Back moment. Like, it took what was done in the first book and then just built on it, rocketed it straight into greatness. So I'm hoping we stick the landing, Mr. Brian McClellan, when I get to Blood of Empire in May. Now, I did DNF an audiobook, and that is going to be Along the Razor's Edge by Mr. Rob J. Hayes. I did not DNF it because I didn't like it. Well, yes I did, but because it was bad. It was nothing wrong with the story. It was simply that when the book starts, like literally page 1, you're first person in this person's head, and she is just angry. And I never made it past chapter 1. She was just so angry, and she's kind of doing a kind of future info dump. So this is a story being told by a future self who's like, yeah, I'm still angry. So by the end of the story, I know I'm not going to get a lot of character growth. It's just going to be this kind of murder revenge plot. I wasn't really into it, and so I did kind of put that aside and DNF it. I wasn't really interested in reading that kind of story at this time. I do enjoy Rob J. Hayes. I read Never Die, and I loved Never Die. So I do want to pick up Pawn's Gambit by him eventually, and then kind of go back and explore his work at a later date. I also picked up, because I did DNF that, I picked up a novella that I had completely didn't know about. I knew about the series that this is a novella of, but I didn't know it had a novella. And that's going to be the Iconoclasts right here. It's called Barrowlands by Mr. Mike Schell. This was very quick. It's actually included in the Audible catalog. So it was free as long as you've got an Audible membership. It's only an hour long. So if you get the Kindle version, it's like maybe 35, 40 pages. It is not long at all. But it was enough. I had planned to read Mike Schell's Aching God, book 1 of the Iconoclasts. And it's a grimdark story, but like it's kind of got like a tomb raiding feel, almost like an Indiana Jones medieval thing with gods and stuff like that. So it was something I had stumbled across. I hadn't really heard a lot of people talk about it, but I was curious, and so I wanted to kind of see if I was right in my assumption. So I tried Barrowlands. I did enjoy it. For as short as it was, it definitely piqued my interest in the series. I can definitely tell it's going to be grimdark, and I am thrilled. I'm actually buddy reading this with a couple people in May that I've just kind of reached out on Discord and like, hey, has anybody heard of this? Some people was like, yeah, I've got it. So we decided to do a buddy read there. That said, I think, let me just double check. Is that everything I read? I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Silence. Matchship. DNF. I have forgotten something. I ran out of time this month. And so, you will notice that next week when you watch the May TBR, A Time of Blood by Mr. John Gwynne did not make the cut. Now, this is going to be the second book that I read in the month of May. This is getting read, without a shadow of a doubt. I am reading this book. I cannot wait. I am super sad I didn't get to it in April, because I actually wanted to be reading A Time of Courage in May. But, just due to commitments with read-alongs and live video discussions that I had promised to be a part of, I had to read other books and prioritize those ahead of this. But it is getting read, and I am super excited to get to this. Another one that didn't make the cut, unfortunately, was Kate Elliott's Prince of Dogs, which is book 2 of The Crown of Stars. This was, of course, you've heard me talk about this, was introduced by Nico over at book reviews, and I cannot wait to get to this. I still very much have King's Dragon fresh in my mind, so I'm not expecting to be lost or anything. It ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and I cannot wait to get to this so that I can do a kind of live debrief with Nico on his channel. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I get to this month. I do have a lot of books, but some of them are a little bit on the shorter side, so I'm hoping to at least get to this in the month of May. If not, it'll be June or July. I don't know. I'll get to it. I promise, Nico. All right. That said, I have had a fantastic time on BookTube. And so recently I bought a new set of The Lord of the Rings, the illustrated editions, which will make an appearance in the book haul. But I don't have limited shelf space, and if you've watched the channel, you've noticed I already have a copy of The Lord of the Rings. And that's this one right here. This is the 50th anniversary. Let's kind of get in on that. It's the 50th anniversary, and I have decided that I am going to do my first channel giveaway, and it is going to be this edition of The Lord of the Rings. This is going to be this copy. It is absolutely stunning. I'll go ahead and show you that. It's got the gilded edges on the side. One of the reasons that I bought a new copy is, while this is super beautiful, I need to use my shelf space for books that I can physically read. And not only is this pretty hefty, I'm just afraid I'm going to damage it. But if you want to get this book, then all throughout the month of May, I will be choosing a winner in June. Feel free to drop into the Discord, and we have a channel that has been created called Contest and Giveaway. So feel free to jump on in there, leave a comment, and randomly, leave a message with your favorite Lord of the Rings character and why you would like to win this set in that channel in our Discord. Or you can do it in the description down below, and I will check there and in the Discord at the end of the month of May, and I will randomly select a winner. But you will need to be a part of the Discord so that you can send me your shipping information. So just make sure that you do join the Discord, and till next time, guys, stay magical. Peace out. Bye.